Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video we will be diving back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For this review we will be looking at the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion. It feels like it's been some time since I've been back into the Marvel Disney TV world. This is always a complicated journey. I've really liked some shows like WandaVision and Loki, and then all of the other ones I've been pretty okay on. This one though, this is like a top tier entry for me. This is one of the best MCU shows because it feels almost nothing like the MCU. I don't mean that as shady as that sounds, but this show is like mean, bleak, joyless, and it's perfect because of all of that. Like, it's exactly what I would want from this type of story, and honestly what I've been craving from the MCU. We've seen explosive big superhero dramas. We've tried to see like the origin stories. We've done a lot of the MCU stuff. Even if we put a new coat of paint on it, we've done it again. This feels a little bit like Winter Soldier, sure, but there's also like, again, I loved Batman vs. Superman for its dry political nature. There's not a joke in sight. It's just trying to tell you a complex story about a lot of different sides, and you kind of have viewpoints with each different side, and you go, I see what their strife is. I see what their drama is, and I relate. Maybe I don't relate. I like that. It's hard to find that in the MCU. I feel like it's some things I find in Winter Soldier. That's what I liked about BVS. It's what I like about espionage and crime dramas. I like all that stuff, so it works really well here. This makes it, I don't know, Secret Invasion just feels so different than a lot of the MCU, but there's still a lot of familiarities. There's still a lot of things you come to know and love. I get Nick Fury. Wow, Sam Jackson turning in his best Nick Fury role yet. Like, I'm glad they've waited a while to give him his moment. Wish this would have been a movie in so many ways, but as a TV show, I don't know, Samuel Jackson really doesn't do a lot of TV, and then for him to come onto Secret Invasion for this 6-episode series, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so a lot of my review stuff I'll talk about in the next section is only about the first 2, but I am happy Sam Jackson gets this moment to eat it up because he does just that with, again, good material. Not perfect, we'll talk about that as well, but overall, I'm happy to say Secret Invasion is it's quite the journey. In what feels like Marvel does Tom Clancy, again, this is way more mature than even Falcon and the Winter Soldier felt like it could. I love this story of Nick Fury entering the world again. He's been up in the space with Saber, and he's come to a very specific battle. The Skrulls are having a civil war. There's Gravik, this rebel leader of the Skrulls, who's a bit tired of trying to be the passive Skrulls that we've seen. Think of a little bit of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, where we have this rebel group who we kind of see some sides to it. You know, Kingsley Ben-Adir is a very interesting character. We also have Emilia Clarke on this side. So we're seeing Sam Jackson have to deal with that. Nick Fury is in a very weird spot because he's also beaten up. Like, he's coming into a war that everyone keeps warning him that he's not ready for. I don't know. It feels like everyone else isn't ready. It feels like Nick Fury is always ready. Y'all aren't ready. Like, it's a very interesting story because I feel for Nick Fury's character. Everyone keeps saying, oh, you're not like the old Nick Fury. Baby, he's always been this brittle and mean. Y'all just had the fun glossy filter of other movies, but you know, you had this fun glossier, the world wasn't as hard. Yes, it was crazy, but it wasn't as hard as we are post-blip, where, you know, he has a crisis of faith. You know, I really love that Nick Fury is in a spot where he's questioning everything. He's also in a spot where he has to question everything he knows, everyone he knows. It makes this so intriguing. Like, oh my goodness, watching him have adventures with Talos. The first episode, I really loved watching, like, oh my god, Ben Mendelsohn and Sam Jackson just eat it up together. Talos and Nick Fury are a very interesting bond. They also lead to a somewhat Pulp Fiction homage in episode 1. I love that. But episode 1 ends with like an oh my god moment, a terror attack, which is what Nick Fury has to deal with in episode 2. Yeah, Gravik is definitely He's a foe here. He's a little bit, again, smaller scale. We'll talk about the small scale stuff in the next section. But yeah, this is a really good story. He's a smaller villain because he's focused on his very personal journey, his very personal battle, and I like that. This is a war that it feels grand scale at times because it always feels like in the Marvel movies the whole world's like about to be in a crisis, but it also feels like it's a very personal story. We've seen this grow with like Nick Fury's character, with what we've seen in Captain Marvel, with the Skrulls back in the 90s, to where he is now. There's a lot of personal here. We're also seeing like Talos has stakes on both sides. He's a traitor in so many ways, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. There's conversations being had here. This isn't just, wow, look at this origin story for a hero, or isn't it crazy in the world of Marvel? This isn't there. It's a deeper conversation. There's more to be had. We're also seeing actors do what they need to do. I've already praised Samuel Jackson for so much. We have Ben Mendelsohn. We have, oh my God, Olivia Colman in the Marvel Universe. She's I don't know. I don't know how to feel about her. She's amazing. I know how to feel about like her as an actress, but her character, oh my goodness. Yeah, Kingsley Ben-Adir, great. Not enough of it. Like, Gravik is, for a villain, for our main arch nemesis of this show, I didn't feel like I got enough of him. We spent more time in episode 2, I feel like, with Don Cheadle than I really got with Gravik. He's there. It's definitely, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but again, for a villain, for the main foe, I felt like I spent more time doing other stuff than when I wanted to spend time with my villain. With these Marvel shows, you need to equally spend time growing our heroes and our villain so they both get time to shine by the time we're at our final episodes. I don't feel that yet in the first 2. That could definitely change as we go forward. And Emilia Clarke is there. I don't really like her character. I don't know. There's a lot with her character. I don't want to spoil anything, but she has some interesting connections to her characters. She's another one who's torn on a lot of different sides. Maybe the Gravik team is a bit more brutal than she wants to. Maybe she feels sympathy for some other people. I like her character. Her performance is just there. It's not like a wowing moment. Again, when Olivia Colman is in an episode, and I'm just like, oh, yes, you're good. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Emilia, do more, please. We've talked about the change of pace for the Marvel Universe. We've talked about what actually happened in Secret Invasion. Now, where does this fit into the bigger picture? That is the most interesting conversation point for me. It's in a weird spot. This doesn't feel completely connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't need to feel like I've seen every little bit of everything to get it, which is refreshing. But at the same time, I know these hardcore Marvel fans are going to be like, I want my Easter eggs. Where's my references? Where does this connect to the overall thing? It's in a weird spot. I feel like I couldn't show this to an outsider, though. As much as there's not Easter egg after Easter egg, this isn't meant to fit into the, at least at the moment, the overarching story as much as some other projects would. Like, I think WandaVision and Loki were definitely there to build towards the future. Secret Invasion is very isolated, but not isolated enough that you can show an outsider. It's not like anyone who's never seen an MCU stuff can walk into Secret Invasion and just get it breezily, which is a problem Marvel has had for quite some time. So I feel weird about this. It's a bit small scale. Again, it feels like the whole world's ending, Skrull War, a bunch of different stuff, aliens from other planets. I get that, but also at the same time, where is this going to go towards? I'm not the biggest Marvel person, so I don't really like that I need everything connected. I like that this is a bit isolated, but I also know that it is not isolated enough for it to feel completely unique, fresh, and different, that I think a random person on Disney Plus would stumble upon this. I feel like Marvel fans are going to be like, well, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the long-term people. The long-term people are starting to drop out, much like the actors are from a long time ago. We need new people. We need new stories. It's weird. It's complicated. It's a good story, but is it good enough to get new people in to hook us further? I don't know yet. All right, Secret Invasion review is in the bag, at least the first 2 episodes. I'm pretty positive on the show. I want to see where it goes. Hopefully it doesn't take a nosedive in the next 4 episodes. Hopefully it gives us what we need. Is it going to fit into more pieces? Do I get more from, characters I don't really love? I will see as it goes, but let me know what you guys think. Now that the first couple episodes are out, share your thoughts. I try to keep this spoiler free, so keep this vaguely spoiler free in the comments. All right, everyone, let's talk about Secret Invasion down below.